wrote the role of Billy, I never intended her to be me. It was never like I was, recreating myself on screen. I wanted Billy to be a conduit, for the audience. And also just for any Asian American, immigrant American, anyone who feels caught between two worlds. She's this vessel that takes us through this journey of navigating her American culture and her family's culture. And so when I met Aquafina, she was a lot more, well, let's say she spoke a lot less Chinese than I did. And so I was a little nervous about that, but she felt so quintessentially American, which is what I loved. I felt like, she's your typical New Yorker. And so her Chinese was limited, and I actually changed the role of Billy in the script to fit Aquafina. I had people kind of comment on the fact that, Billy's Chinese is not very good. I had Billy kind of intentionally, say, how do you say this again, Dad? What's going on? What did they say? Those kinds of hints to remind us that she, while she understands something, she doesn't understand all things.
There's something tonally about the film that really suits Awkwafina's casting as well, because we often know her as somebody who's just funny. She's done stand-up comedy. She can be very, very funny. But the film is not simply a comedy. There's a lot more going on there as well, and it's able to kind of walk a very fine line between the dramatic side, which is often quite devastating, and the comedy. Can you talk a little bit about the tone and about what she brought to that as well?
Yeah, it's a lot harder to teach an actor comedy, like comedic timing, than it is to try to pull a dramatic performance out of a comedic actor. I think that's why so many comedic actors make very successful turns towards comedy, because I think comedians also tend to be fairly dark people. They use humor really as a survival mechanism. And that's certainly the case with Nora. She, told me that she grew up cracking jokes because her mother died when she was 4, and she was raised by her Chinese grandmother. There was a lot of awkwardness in her family. And so she realized that she had the superpower. If she could crack a joke, it would dissipate the tension. And so, of course, being the family clown, as her grandma recently called her, like the family entertainer, then transitioning into being the world's entertainer, she doesn't have a chance to use this other muscle, which is that of vulnerability, that of connection. And in this film, when she was in China, when we were on set, she was often very uncomfortable, because I think if you're an Asian American person, you're going back to your home country or your family's home country, and you don't quite connect. It brings up a lot of different complicated stuff, which it certainly did for her. And she just, I could feel that she was like tense, and so I said, what's going on? She's like, I'm just very uncomfortable. I was like, great, because Billy's uncomfortable.
Use that.
Use that. I know it's a terrible thing for a director to say, like, I don't care, use it. Good, because she wanted probably some sympathy, or I was like, no, use it. But I was like, but Billy feels this way. And she said, no, but you don't understand, like, the thing, and this, and the food, and I'm exhausted, and I feel things, and I was like, I know, so does Billy. Right, and so I said, I know that you're used to, like, immediately wanting to, your, like, instinct is to dissipate that tension by cracking a joke. And on this set, you can't. Like, I haven't written any jokes for Billy. Mm-hmm. And so instead, you have to, harness all of that energy, all of that discomfort, all of that tension, and channel it through Billy, and let us feel it on screen. And so I think once that she settled into that, it was just so powerful and so seamless.